Welcome back, guys. Right, as promised, in today's video I'm going to try and repair this DB7 Vantage front bumper. Now this bumper is cracked, it's got bits broken, it's got bits missing. However, these are really expensive second hand, so it's worth a shot. I've got a trusty plastic welding gun, which has got the staples you kind of melt into the plastic, and I've got my soldering iron, I've got some fiberglass. So what's the worst that can happen? Let's give it a go, guys. So I'm going to start by removing this lower grill. Now, it looks like chicken wire. I think it is the original stuff. It doesn't look very nice, if I'm going to be completely honest. So I'm going to remove this, and when I do repair the bumper, I plan to put some nice stainless back, hopefully. Just so it looks a little bit more upmarket. I mean, you'd think an Aston Martin would be fairly upmarket, but I could be wrong. This might not be the original. Let me know in the comments if you know. That's the grill. Not in the best condition. Right, this is one of the worst bits. I'm going to see what I can do with it. Hopefully, I can make it look a little bit better than that. So, I've got one of these guns, plastic welding gun. You literally put these little inserts in the end. And then press the trigger, that should heat up and melt into the plastic. So I'm hoping a few of these will hold it together. Right, so I've screwed a little bracket on here just to hold it together because I was struggling. I put a couple of these little plastic welding tabs in. It's not working overly great, so I think I'm going to go for like plan 32C. I'm not really sure what number we're on now. And fiberglass it. So I'm going to sand the back down, put loads of fiberglass in the back, make it nice and strong because I want it to last. I don't want it to crack again. So I can obviously plastic weld the edge up, but I'm going to reinforce the back with some fiberglass. So as you can see, the back's got a little bit of overspray on it. So I'm just going to sand it down a little bit. Give it a bit of key so the fiberglass sticks. I can hopefully see I've just plastic welded that little bit there. Super glued it so that's nice and tough again. I'm going to sand it down with this flat disc, flat wheel, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to use some fiberglass filler because I've got some of that. Just to give it some in there. Once that's done, I can make an assessment whether it's strong enough. I might have to put some matting in as well. As you can see, that's got a nice key now, so I can mix some fiberglass up. I'm going to put a little bit in the hole there. So, as normal, it's a PF hardener to a golf ball of filler or fiberglass. I'm going to buy some matting and then I can do the bigger areas with that as well. That will harden in the next 20 minutes or so. Don't look the neatest, but don't really need to. Right, it's been a few days, so this repair here is well and truly gone off. In the meantime, I've bought some 2K adhesive, specifically designed for bumper repairs, which is going to come handy. I've bought some bumper flexible filler. I've also bought some fiberglass matting and some fiberglass resin. So my plan is I'm going to obviously plastic weld what I can. I'm going to reinforce the front side with this adhesive and maybe the back side. So yeah, the bigger areas, I'm going to use the matting, bit of adhesive, bit of plastic weld, bit of everything, just try and make it as strong as possible and to look as good as possible. Right, so this is obviously gone off. I'm going to cut these staples off. I'm going to grind it back a little bit. I'm going to put some adhesive in the low spots. watched quite a few YouTube videos and they recommend using this kind of product just to fill the gaps in rather than using filler. So obviously it'll help bond it, make it a bit stronger, and make it like a more permanent repair. So I'll grind this back now. Now, as you can see, I've ground this a little bit back here. It's got a couple of low spots, but overall it's really strong. So I'm chuffed with that. So I'm going to put some adhesive on this side just to fill the low spots in. And then when the fiberglass matting comes, I'm also going to reinforce the back a little bit more just to make sure, but that is pretty sturdy. Right, because I only need a little bit and I've only got a couple of nozzles, I'm just going to mix it by hand to start off with, because I've got the whole bumper to do. It's quite an expensive product, so I don't want to waste it. So it just kind of comes out 50-50. Been told this sets in about 15 minutes. Never used it before though, so this is my first time. So we'll see. Right, let that go off. Pretty happy with that. Next job's this bit. So again, I'm just going to grind it back. I'm just going to drill a hole in the end of the crack. The idea of that is it stops it spreading. So I just need to hold it roughly into place. There is perfect. And then just try and plastic weld it back together a bit. So as you can see, I've cleaned the back of the bumper off. It keeps cracking at the top. Obviously the bumper's quite heavy and there's a lot of weight on it, so the tape just to hold it together. I've cut some mesh. I'm going to put some fiberglass resin here and just try and secure it on. That's my plan. Right, so I put some fiberglass on it. I put some resin on top. That's where the clamp was. I'll flat this back a little bit and I'll probably put some black paint on it just to make it look a bit neater. Not that you're going to see it. Now I need to turn it over and put some resin on the other side. So once again, I'm just going to grind this flat. So obviously I've just ground it flat. I've V'd it out, removed the tape. Now I can put a little bit of 2-pack adhesive in there. And that is going to be rock solid. As you can see, it's already really solid. Beautiful. So I've just blocked the top of this off with some abranet cloth and a sanding block. Obviously it's still a long way to go, but I'm super impressed with how strong it is already. Bearing in mind I'm going to reinforce the back yet. So yeah, dead chuff with that. Right, this bit is a little bit more difficult. As you can see, we've got a crack here. This piece is missing, and this is a bit floppy. So not only that, the end is also missing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by putting this bit in here, getting this nice and strong, and then I'm going to work my way to this end. Now I've also done a couple of little bits off camera. These were just tiny little cracks. I've used some of the adhesive, which is here. Seems very good stuff. And I've stuck a little bit of just normal fiberglass matting, like that, over it, just to give it a little bit of extra rigidity, shall we say. So I'm just mixing some glue again. Again, I'm not using the nozzle because I've got quite a big job to do with it yet and I don't want to waste them. I'm just mixing it by hand, which seems to work quite well. Right, so the worst bit of the bumper is this bit. As you can see, the end's missing. And this edge is also missing. but it's broken where it kind of curves round. So I'm not overly worried about that because I'm pretty sure I can fix it. So my plan is, what I've done so far, I've cut some aluminium plate. I put a gradual curve in it. You just see a slight curve which matches the profile of the bumper. I've obviously cleaned this back, and I'm basically going to screw and bond this to this. Once that's adhered, I'm going to V the other side out, bond it again with this beautiful stuff, and in the back I'm going to clean the whole thing up. I'm going to fiberglass the whole thing to make it nice and strong. So let's crack on and do it. Right, I know this does look a little bit rough now. I completely agree, but it will be strong when it's done. So as you can see, I've cleaned this up, I've made the plate. It's now the case of putting some bond on it and hoping for the best. Right, there we go. Bonded, obviously. I haven't gone all the way to the bottom. I've actually run out, so I need to get some more. But I'm going to let that dry for 24 hours. Then I'm going to continue with this. But I'll probably do the rest with fiberglass. So I'm just going to clean, obviously, the backside up like this. And then I'll fiberglass the whole patch. Make it nice and strong. But yeah, that's as much as I can do for today, really. It needs to go off. But I'm dead chuffed with that. Right, it's been about 72 hours since I last touched this bumper. This is obviously fully cured now. It's dried absolutely rock solid, so I'm really chuffed with it. Obviously, that's not the finished outcome. I need to fiberglass it and neaten it up, but I've got it for now. I've ran out of 2K adhesive, so I've ordered some more. So the last thing I really need to do, other than a few little minor cracks like this, is I need to make a new end. Now, obviously, this is completely missing, just where the bumper curves round. Now, that could be an issue, but I've got a plan. Now, when I bought the car, I bought this fiberglass reproduction bumper with it. Now, the quality is a bit crap, so I don't want to use it. I figured I'd be better just repairing the original, and it'd be more authentic, shall we say. But it does mean I've got something to make a mould from. And normally, you would use gel coat and then layers of fiberglass. Obviously, you'd wax this first, and you can make a mould from it. But because the quality is pretty poor, and I don't think the original bumper was gel coated when I did it, I don't want to try and make a mould like that because I just feel like it might break or stick to it and just cause me issues. So I'm going to use some thin aluminium mesh and then basically match the profile. I'm going to kind of panel beat it around it, and I'm going to wrap it in some aluminium foil tape, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, I should be able to make just a mould for the very end, because I only need the very end, and I can apply it to the original bumper, which is here, stick it on, and then I can build this up with fiberglass. And once all that's done, I can use some PU adhesive just to finish the job off, blend it in with some filler, and in theory, it should be as good as original. So that's my plan. So this is the mesh I've got. I'm going to see what I can do with it. Right, first job, I'm going to panel beat it flat, because I don't really need all the raised bits. So I've just applied a little bit of foil tape on the back. Now this is just going to stop the fiberglass sticking, hopefully. So there's no exact science with what I'm doing here. I don't really know what I'm doing, if I'm honest. It's all a learning curve. But I'm pretty happy to give it a go. As you can see, that's clamped down there. So now I'm going to carefully panel beat the outer edge around the corner. Now, some of you may think this is a bit of a bodge, and I kind of agree. However, it's just to make a rough mould. It's not for anything overly important. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I can shape the fiberglass once it's done. It just gives me a bit of an idea. And there we go. Far from perfect, but that is a nice little mould at the end of the bumper. As you can see, mould's fitted, it's clamped on, it's come out pretty good. But obviously remember, it's just a guide. I'm going to fiberglass the whole area now. This has had some wax on it to stop the fiberglass from sticking. And once the fiberglass has gone off, I'm going to notch out the other side, put some PU adhesive in to make sure it's got a really nice bond. That's the 2K type adhesive, not your Tiger Seal type stuff. And then obviously it's going to need shaping, filling properly. But I'll wait until the bumper's on the car for that. Right guys, so the fiberglass is all done. It's gone off. I've taken the mould off and I've roughly shaped this bumper with a grinder. Now I'm really pleased with the outcome so far. The shape looks really good. It looks like it matches really well. So I'm dead chuffed. Obviously I can't perfect it and smooth it and filler it all until the headlight panels have been straightened on the car, so I can put the bumper back on and make it all fit properly on the car. Because if I do it here and then put it back on, it might not fit properly, and I want it to be perfect. So I'm not going to rush. For that very reason, I'm going to wrap the video up here. If you enjoy my content, please remember to show your support by liking and leaving a comment. And if you can, please hit the subscribe button. I do really appreciate it. This is an unusual one because on a normal car, I would have scrapped this bumper. But because they're so valuable, and even the expensive ones on eBay, a lot of them have been repaired. So I figured, you know, I might as well learn myself and fix it myself. And I think I've done a good job. It's really sturdy. So yeah, if you like that kind of thing, you like seeing people recycle and make do, please hit that subscribe button. There'll be plenty more content for this car, my Nova, my 911, and everything else I own. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. See you all very, very soon. Goodbye.